Marshall Bruce Mathers III, better known as Eminem, is a talented rapper from Detroit. Among several controversies surrounding his art and his person, we have brought together in this video some of the saddest facts in the life of our dear Slim Shady. 1. His father abandoned him when he was a baby. This is probably one of the reasons why Eminem seems so crazy all the time. If you've heard any of his music, you know that Marshall Mathers II, his father, abandoned him and his mother when he was just a baby. His father had a change of heart in 2001 and wanted to reunite with his son, saying, "I'm not interested in your money. I just want to talk to him." But Slim Shady refused. 2. He was in a coma after a bullying incident. Apparently, D'Angelo Bailey's bullying of young Eminem was so bad that it once caused him to be in a coma for 4 days. In 1982, Mathers had a disagreement with Bailey, and said he and other boys hit Mathers in the head. Mathers stopped moving and Bailey ran away and made up an excuse. As a result of this attack, Debbie Mathers, M's mother, attempted to sue her son's school, but the lawsuit was dismissed. 3. He was mentally abused by his mother. Although Debbie Mathers defended Marshall on some occasions, her relationship with her son was always tumultuous. Eminem has stated that he basically raised his younger half-brother, Nathan, and in his son's "Cleanin' Out My Closet," he claims that his mother may have had Munchausen syndrome, a disorder that causes people to intentionally hurt their children. Loved ones, for he was abandoned by his mother, so she came back. Even though Debbie Mathers accused Eminem's father of abandoning him, she did the same thing, leaving Marshall in the care of his great-aunt Edna and Uncle Charles. Mathers said they basically raised him and they were my solidarity. They took him to school and allowed him to do chores like a normal boy. 5. He was shot while walking to Kim's house. It just goes to show what kind of neighborhoods Marshall Mathers grew up in Detroit. He stated that he grew up on the wrong side of 8 Mile, and this story kind of proves it. While he was still a teenager and dating Kim, he was reportedly shot while walking to his home. 6. He paid $100,000 in assault fees. Even though Eminem was first arrested when he was 20 years old, he has been in numerous prosecutions throughout his life. Your civil case record is not as impeccable as your criminal one. After leaving a nightclub one night, Eminem found his wife Kim kissing a man named John Guerra. Eminem beat the guy and was forced to pay $100,000 on assault charges laid against the man. 7. Death of your best friend. Proof. Eminem's best friend died of a gunshot in a fight. 2 days after the death of rapper Proof in a shooting in Detroit, Eminem publicly mourned the loss of his friend. Detroit police say they have evidence that Proof started the shooting, in which another man was shot and seriously injured, but the rapper's lawyers said it was too early to reach conclusions like that. He supported me to become what I am. Without Prof's guidance and encouragement, there would be a Marshall Mathers, but probably not an Eminem and certainly never a Slim Shady, said Eminem, in a statement reproduced by the North American MTV website. He will be remembered as a friend, father, and the heart and ambassador of Detroit hip-hop, said the rapper. Eminem also asked fans to remember how Proof lived, not how he died. 8. Drug triggers. Eminem has said in interviews that he no longer does big tours, because it is a trigger for his addiction to sleeping pills. 9. Elton John's help in his recovery. A good friend of Elton John, Eminem said that while he was trying to overcome his addiction, Elton called him at least once a week to see how he was doing. The bond between Shady and John is so strong that Eminem even sent 2 diamond cock rings to Elton John when he married David Furnish. 10. Rock Bottom. Eminem wrote this song alongside the Bass Brothers, who also produced it. The Bass Brothers, Mark Bass and Jeff Bass, are individuals who have been with Eminem since the beginning, that is, when he put together his first album, Infinite, 1996. In fact, the lyrics of this track aren't a case of Eminem reminiscing about his early days. Instead, it was written the same year Infinite was released, when he was still a famous artist. His music career wasn't viable enough at the time for him to make a living, so he worked as a cook at an establishment called Gilbert's Lodge. And when he tells the story, he left this job 5 days before Christmas, with Christmas also being his daughter's first birthday. At that time, he had $40 to buy her something. It was out of that frustration that he wrote Rock Bottom and eventually developed the character known as Slim Shady. This particular song is from Eminem's second album, known as the Slim Shady LP. He left with the project on February 23, 1999. It was after the aforementioned album that Eminem became a music star with his second single, My Name Is, being his breakout song. 11 Drug addiction. Eminem revealed details about his time battling drug addiction in an article written for XXL magazine. In the text, he said that he had contact with 10 drug dealers at the same time and that he doesn't know how he is still here. Reflecting on his career and life, the rapper stated that he suffered from depression even before he began to be successful. I was at my lowest point. I didn't even know what I was going to do, because it didn't seem like it was going to happen. I was 24 years old and had a baby to take care of, and all I wanted to do was rap, he wrote. His high drug consumption, however, only increased when his career took off, especially after the release of the album, The Slim Shady LP, in 1999. The worst years of Eminem's addiction were during the early 2000s, but, according to him, the problem reached its peak in 2006, after the death of rapper Proof, who was his longtime friend. The musician says he was unable to walk for 2 days after the event. My drug use skyrocketed. I had 10 drug dealers at the same time that I was getting my shit from 75 to 80 Valiums, diazepam, a night, which is a lot. I don't know how I'm still here, he said. Eminem suffered a near-fatal overdose in 2007, which caused him to begin the process of sobriety. 12 Attempted Murder. Big Nas, who worked for Eminem, gave an interview to the Murder Master music show during which he claimed that the rapper was almost killed at the 2001 Source Hip Hop Awards and later during a men's trip to Hawaii. Working for Night. He managed to escape unharmed both times. There was a situation at the Source Awards, which was our first encounter with Suge Knight and his henchmen, said Nas. They got to the point where artists couldn't sit with bodyguards. I notice M is in the hallway and fighting with all these guys in red shirts. That's what they said, children of death row. Suge Knight sent us into Eminem's strong arm and he's falling. I had to get him and call Dre, because he was backstage. The trouble isn't over for Eminem yet, according to Nas, who said the scariest moment came when they traveled to Hawaii. When the plane lands, we are met by 20 Honolulu police officers, and they told us death row is here. They tried to surround Snoop Dogg. Suge Knight sent 50 guys to try to shut down the show. When we got there, vacation mode was over. We were locking and loading, putting on bulletproof vests with their wives and girlfriends sitting next to them. We had to let Interscope foot the bill to put the Honolulu police with every bodyguard, because of Suge's depth there. Thank you for watching this video. Stay with us by clicking on one of the suggestions, and don't leave a like to help us.